10 days later, we see Vel waking up to see a blizzard outside her window, as she then says, "Oof, glad I'm not in Toronto anymore." As we see her walking around the casino, as we see her walk outside, as we see all of the snowfall, as we see a soldier walk up to her and they say, "Vel Hazer, correct?" Vel says, depends on who's asking there, floppy tits. Are you a little bitch boy who cowers in fear? Or did you just pull on Ragnar's dick enough to where he actually believes you're loyal? The man doesn't answer the question, but he does say, "I'm just here to inform you that Ragnar wants to see you for the day." Vel says, "Ooh, an adventure." Well, that seems way more up my alley than these gambling fucktards at their fucking machines acting like this place is fucking normal. The soldier says, "Please, come with me." As Vel says, bottom feeder it is. We see the sun setting as we see the prey walking through the woods with lit up torches, as we see Vel and Ragnar getting into a boat with some of the others. As Vel says, "Where in the flippiting fucking fuck are we going?" Ragnar says, "Get on." She gets in the boat and he says, "Alright. I didn't want to ruin the surprise, but I see that you're one step ahead of me, Vel, so that needs to change." He gives her a gun and says, "Here, hang on to this for me. You're gonna need it." Vel holds onto the gun in her hand and says, "And how do you know I'm not just gonna shoot you when I get the chance?" Ragnar says, "Well, because I've been told you're one of the smarter ones. Wouldn't really be the work of one of those, now would it? You'll need to hang on to that for me. Like I said, you're gonna need it." We see a few men at the castle as we hear one of them says, "Tugo, you see that?" Tugo looks out to see several boats approaching. Tugo looks worried and says, "Sound the alarm. Get people to the wall and ready." Tugo and a few other men are there standing there ready, but then he sees Vel in the boat as he looks happy, but then he sees Ragnar pushing her forward and says, "Jeez, what do you know? I gotta listen to Mrs. West boss me around 24/7, and now I gotta listen to this fucking asshole all night. Well, ain't that a damn shock?" Ragnar is walking up to the castle with his men. As we see, there's a few on top that says, "Vel, what the hell is this?" Vel says, "Let them in, guys. That's an order. Come on. Besides, it's better that we bring them in all with us. That's exactly where we want you all, you deranged fucks." Tugo and his men walk out to see them. As they walk up to Ragnar and Vel, and Tugo says, "Well, geez, boys, I thought Halloween just passed. Where in God's name have you been, Vel?" Vel says, "It's a long story. But these assholes here, they killed Dawson, and Rob and the rest of our friends are held captive." Tugo looks at Ragnar and says, "Well, what makes you think our door is open?" Ragnar says, "Well, you stepped out, didn't you? That's step one. Step two is a lot more complicated than step one. We're coming in to have a discussion. That's not a problem now, is it?" He holds a knife to the back of Vel's neck and says, "Thank you. Excuse me." As he shoves Tugo a bit and walks in with his men. We see all the residents and the families walk out as they all look terrified. As we see Ragnar and the prey standing in front of the civilians, as Ragnar whispers to Vel, "Don't be shy. Talk to your people. Get them to feel safe. The looks on their faces is just killing me, Vel says to her people. Anything they say, you don't listen. These people are a thorn in our sides, nothing more. Look, I failed, Dawson, and I will fucking fix that. But Rob's crew and the others are still alive. Don't you worry. I will fix that. And I will fucking fix all that fucking shit that's stuck up these fucking fuckers' fucking asses. And I might be gone for a while, but I'm doing what I need to do to save the West family. Ragnar says, alright, that's enough. Now, I didn't tell you to preach war. But see, Vel, that's exactly why I took you on this little trip to begin with. Everyone else is doing their part, following the rules. Hell, even Rob, believe it or not. Ha! Despite our very rocky history, he knew when to stop. But you don't. The reason why my place has stayed the way it has for as long as it has is trust and honor. You don't seem to have any of those things. We then see her hand on the gun, as he then says, I see your finger reaching for that piece on you, and yes, very good idea. Vel, I want you to take that gun. Shoot one of your people right now. Your pick. Vel says, yeah, fucktard, that's not gonna happen. Ragnar says, oh, that's right. Damn, how rude of me. Can you please choose who you kill? Vel says, my pick? Ragnar says, I see I have confused you. Let me put it in simpler terms. He gets up in her face and says, do it, darling. Pick. Or I will pick them all. And I'll go back to Wyoming, pick off all your wonderful friends in there too, and I'll give orders for Athena to kill them. And she will. Vel is starting to look a little nervous and she says, no. Ragnar says, no? You see that? That is not good enough for me, Vel. Just something about it doesn't work. We see how scared her people all look as she's looking at some of the young kids that look terrified. As Tugo then steps out and says, take me there, ragtard. You will not regret it. Trust me. Vel says, no, Tugo, stand down. I'm not killing you. Ragnar says, you're right. You're not. But you're killing someone. And I don't remember asking for volunteers. So stand down there, tough guy. Vel is starting to look worried and says, Ragnar, please. Please, okay, I don't want to fucking... Please. You've already made me fail my people once. Please don't make me do that again. Maybe there's something we can do, okay? My people, we're very resourceful. I'm sure we can help work something out, okay? Ragnar says, you can talk the big talk, but you can't walk the walk. So, you better kill someone. And you better kill someone now, or I will fucking kill you all. Vel says, please, please. Tugo says, just kill me. Ragnar says, in a minute I will if she doesn't decide. Tugo says, just kill, please, just kill me. I've done enough bad things to deserve this anyway. Ragnar says, very nice story, Vel. But we're running out of time, I'm afraid. 10 seconds on the clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Vel has a tear running down her face as she looks at her scared people and says, I did this for you. She points the gun towards one of Ragnar's people, but as one of her men gets up in front of the crowd and jumps in front of the bullet, as Vel accidentally shoots the man, and the man goes down for the group. As Vel looks horrified and says, No, that wasn't supposed to. Ragnar claps and says, Atta girl, you did it. We'll work on your aim later. He takes the gun from her hands and says, you did well today, but I'm afraid we're not done. There is something else that I do want from you. Vel looks angry and says, what do you want? Ragnar says, later. I want to see more of you, Vel Hazer. As our characters are just looking around awkwardly, as Ragnar starts walking away, and Tugo says, this ain't over, Ragtard. I'm gonna kill you all. Ragnar says, shut him up, why don't you? Me and Vel have some personal business to get to. As three men knock down Tugo and start repeatedly kicking him multiple times, as Vel just has to watch this, as Ragnar lights a smoke and says, "It's a beautiful place. I will definitely be coming around here more often. Come on, Vel. We got some things to work out." Back at Wyoming, we see Vel crying in her room as she hears a knock at her door and she says, "Who in the flipping flipper wants to see me now?" The Skull Hunter comes in and says, "Vel, you were asked to go see Ragnar." Vel says, "Yeah, and what the hell do I have to do for him this time, huh? Do I have to suck him off or something?" The man says, "God, no. What kind of man do you take him for? He just wants to have a little chat." Vel says, "I'm done with chats after what he made me do. Now, if you don't mind, I'll talk to him in the morning, okay?" He keeps her from closing the door and steps in the way and says, "Not gonna work this time, Missy. He wants to see you and he wants to see you now. Oh, and he gives her a dress and says, he said to wear this." As we see Vel looks pissed. We see her walking up to him in heels, as Vel says, "Is this what you wanted?" Ragnar says, "Whoa. Well, it's a bit tighter than I thought, but in a few minutes that won't matter anyway. You did good today, Vel, and good people deserve rewards." Vel says, "I'm out of here." Ragnar says, "Wait now. I didn't say it was an option, but I'll sweeten the deal here a little bit. You do what I want you to do right now, and you and your friends will get a promotion to a higher standards to this place." Vel says, "Oh, what? Are you going to make me lose with this thing on? And do things that I don't want to? Yeah, that's a real leader-like of you." Ragnar says, Not exactly. But you could say I'll be leading the way in this one." As he says, "Go on. One piece at a time. Don't be afraid. No one's watching here. Isn't that right, Tim?" Tim says, "Nope, no one's watching or judging here, sir." Ragnar smiles and says, "See?" Vel says, "Fuck you." Ragnar says, "Oh, we're getting closer." Vel says, "Please don't, please." Ragnar says, "Please, girl. Those are some of my favorites back in the day. Now, I can't promise I'm as fast as I was back then. I'm a little worn out and slow, but slow can be good." As he unzips his pants, as he says, "Go on. I started, you follow." As she starts taking her clothes off, as she just sits on the bed and says, "Have at it." As we see Vel has no other choice but to start fucking Ragnar, as he says, "Very good. Very good for one of the young ones." As we see once again a tear going down her face. Later on, we see after it's over, Vel sitting in the corner of the room shaking as Ragnar says, "That was fun. Round 2 next week, same time. Now what did I tell you to say to me?" Vel says, "Thank you, Daddy." Ragnar says, "Now, here's how it's gonna be from now on. No back-talking me at the table. You don't question me, you don't talk back to me, and you will do exactly as I say. And if you feel the need to run to Rob, then hell, tell him. Tell him everything you can. It's not like he'd be able to do anything about it anyway. You are mine, you and your people. You're just toys for my amusement, lady." He leaves her be as she just still sits there, as she sees a bit of blood dried up on her finger from the man she killed, and she says, "Sensei, please, help me, Sensei, help me." She looks out the window as now she sees the snow has stopped. We see Rob playing his guitar in his room. He hears a knock at the door and says, "Come in." Vel walks in looking a little bit nervous still, and he says, "Hey, haven't seen you around for a few days. You alright?" Vel says, "I'm fine. Just people in here being people." "It is what it is, I guess." Rob says, "It is what it is." Dang. "Since when were you a it is what it is type of woman?" Vel says, "Never. But I'm swallowing my pride, I guess." Rob says, "No jokes? No remarks? Nothing?" Jeez. I guess I'm not the only one feeling the weight of this place. Hey, look. You can tell me if anything's wrong, kid, alright? I get it, you know. I know exactly what it's like working for a dipshit like this. Christ, I did work for a dipshit like this. Vel says, "I'm fine." Rob says, "Alright. But if you're not, it's alright. I get losing isn't your style. So, if there's anything you want to talk to me about, you can say it." She looks scared and confused, and she looks like she wants to say something, but she just looks at him with a small smile and says, "There's nothing." Rob says, "Alright. Well, my day was boring as hell. How was yours?" Vel just lays back and looks at him and says, Honestly, same thing." As we then see a slightly scared look in her eyes.